Hey guys, Shawn Ziem, the Connection Machine, aka the Insurance Doctor, and the host for the Webtalk Legends Podcast. This is number 68, and it's all about listening to our guests share their story, taking the strategies they might use, their tips, the trials and tribulations they've had in their past, and actually implementing some of the things that they're doing that didn't work for them. Maybe it could work for you and make you have a better life, better business, better situation. It's all about making sure you're present in the 30 minutes we're going to be here. Make sure a couple housekeeping rules. You have to drop a hashtag live if you're watching us right now. If you're on the replay, hashtag replay. Where are you watching from? A lot of you just come in to watch and listen to podcasts and you don't engage. I want you to engage. Where are you watching from? Drop a comment whenever you can. And if you are throughout, drop some emojis. If you have a thumbs up, a pound, fire, drop it while, if you like, dislike, in anything we're talking about, we want you to engage. So let me bring on a good friend of mine, Michael Smith. What's going on, Mike?
Hey, how are you, Shawn? Long time.
It's been a while. I appreciate you taking time out. And, I'm going to be sharing some of your story today. And I appreciate you, doing that. So before we even get into it, Mike, I always like to have you tell us who you are and what you do.
All right, so Michael Smith, I'm the NJ car guy. I offer pretty much anything you need in the automotive industry, whether it's, to buy, sell, purchase, lease, whatever you might need. I'm here to assist you with any aspect of automobiles. Now, that also includes, fleet vehicles and any type of commercial or personal. And of course, just kind of help anyone needing a little direction in that industry.
No doubt about it, man. And those that are watching, again, we're here to provide some value. So you're going to sit back and listen. Hopefully, you're going to reflect on some of the things we talk about and then implement some of the ideas. And I want to go back, and a lot of people are like, oh, a car guy. And we haven't had a car guy on this show yet. So this is going to be good. I like salespeople because salespeople have an entrepreneurial mindset. And when you have an entrepreneurial mindset, you wake up and you got to make sure you got to figure out where your leads are coming from. How do you generate leads on your own?
I utilize a lot of methods. I have a pretty big customer base. It's well over 1,000 at this point. So I'm blessed in that sense because I get a lot of referrals. Referrals, I think, for any industry you're in are key to success in general, because if you're doing right by your clients, they're going to do right by you typically. And I mean, if you're not afraid to ask for it, you're gonna get the referrals you need. I also have my own website, yournjcarguy.com. That actually, I use that more just to set appointments because for me, it's the schedule is the challenge. We're only open, what is it, 11 hours at my new location. And in 11 hours, it would seem like that's a long work day for a lot of people, but I have to start around 5 or 6 to get in what I need to get in to be prepared so that I can maximize that 11 hours.
And maximizing is important. And like Mike said, he uses his website to help with his scheduling. A lot of people like to be more reactive to what's going on, but he's proactive. He's allowing people to schedule things, set things up, figure out in his day when they're going to be able to make that happen. And that's a good trait to have. If you're watching in sales, controlling your flow of leads is a very powerful thing. And it helps you stay on point and has a little bit less stress because you know what's going on throughout your day. Before you were, and we're going to come back to this, but before we got into the car sales business, what did you do before then?
So I did real estate for a while. That's how we originally met because I used to go to various mixers, and I ended up at one of yours, the Connection Machine, doing its thing. It's probably, honestly, one of my best customers I've ever gotten. Frank Capuano was from there, great guy, and I've gotten a lot of deals both in real estate and in the auto industry because of simple networking. It's old school, shake your hand, elevator pitch is key to real estate, but it really works for auto sales too, because honestly, um, you know, I kind of build things on that. But anyway, with the real estate, I liked it. I still do a little bit of it, but not anywhere near what I used to. Because the truth is, a lot of the people that I sell cars to now are realtors. So I took that industry connection that I had and kind of applied it to the new industry. And I'm kind of blessed in a position that I'm in. I'm by the Jersey Shore. I my main brand is Jeep, but I sell 11 others. And I mean, how hard is it to sell a Jeep at the Jersey Shore, right? But so before real estate, I worked. I actually worked for an entertainment company. We would hire folks for smaller shows, smaller, like various casinos throughout the Northeast or Eastern Seaboard. A lot of stuff in Atlantic City, of course. And then prior to that, believe it or not, I was a I I was a dock builder. I built and I still actually sell some of the folks I built their docks. I sell them cars now, but I built docks for people all over the Ocean and Monmouth County, New Jersey
Oh,
area, and that's where my connections to folks in larger scale businesses started. Did that, for the better part of 10 years, and took its toll on my body. So I realized it wasn't something I should be doing the rest of my life. As much as I miss it and love it, it was a great industry. And prior to that, I went. So I have a weird story for my childhood. It's a little different than most. I was a ward of the state for the state of New Jersey. I
wow.
grew up in foster care, and DIFUS kind of controlled where I was allowed to stay. Group homes, shelters, all kinds of stuff. It wasn't for anything major. It was just, I had an abuse issue at my house, and it was not a stable environment for me. So they felt I needed to be taken away. And I actually have one of those stories that you would think I'm going to rely on it for negativity, but no, I had a great experience with foster care. Prior to getting into foster care, it was a little tough. I some growing pains. I was a little too sheltered, but my foster mother, her name's Helen Barrett. She is a saint. Raised 83 kids.
Wow.
Foster father too. Frank Barrett. He passed away about 11 years ago, but I still try to take care of my foster mother as best I can. With crazy schedule, and I really am grateful for the hardship I went through as a kid, because it actually gives me the drive I have today. I don't think I'd be willing to wake up at 5 a.m. so that I could do my normal routine and then be to work about an hour before I need to get there so that I can be ready as soon as we open to get going. And then from there, work through the day, stay extra hours, take every customer, answer every call, no matter when it is, and make sure I try to get back to everybody who does call, because I'm blessed that my phone rings a lot now. And with the auto industry being what it is, it's a lot of people find it refreshing to do business with somebody who has an approach like I do. I have more of an approach like a realtor would, with
Kind of like
I,
sharing a couple options or car,
no, no,
and then it's like it
it's
sells
not that.
itself.
So you know how a realtor will qualify somebody in a way that is very honest, forthcoming, and ethical. Unfortunately, my industry has a very bad reputation, and I'm going to say the majority of people in my industry are less of a shark than a lot of folks I met in real estate and people I competed against.
Hmm.
But that, I'm going to say the majority. There are the few that are exceptionally aggressive in the auto industry, and although they are very successful people, not everybody likes that style, that
Mm.
approach, and they get very turned off, and they see that old school 80s and 90s, guys high-fiving and that kind of thing over the deal. And I don't have that type of a thing. I make a deal, I'm happy about it, don't get me wrong, but in the end, unless that person is willing to send their family, their friends, and them come back to me again, I failed. And I take it personally. I never would let somebody see that I take it personally, but it matters to me how somebody feels like they're treated. Like my neighbors all buy their cars for me. I want everybody I know to say, okay, before, even if it's a brand I can't help them with, before they go shopping, I'm going to call Mike and see if he knows somebody who's trustworthy, who has a similar approach to what he does. Because when I approach an automotive sale, I don't care whether I make the sale or not. My goal is one, make a friend. Ultimately, if nothing, I made a friend, and that could turn into referrals too. It does often for me, which I'm blessed with. But I've learned that the financial aspect will always work itself out. Yes. I will always have enough money. I'm in a wonderful situation in life, and I am, I'm blessed. I really am. I have a great situation. I work at a wonderful company that incentivizes me to sell a lot of cars and not to concern myself with making a lot of money off of each car. They just want me to put as many cars over the road as I can, and customers feel and see that. So I'm blessed in that sense. I did make a recent change. So I'm actually, the auto group that I work with is Lester Glenn Auto Group. It's fantastic. They're in Monmouth and Ocean County, which is my stomping grounds for the last 20 some odd years now. So I also have a lot of folks that I know out here. So it's a blessing. But, even you and I have done a little bit of business, and you see that I will be a little bit more involved than most folks in the auto industry. Like I don't care if I have a personal vested interest in that person's full completion of whether it's and mind you, I also do a lot of real estate referrals too. But the same thing with the insurance. Like I want to make sure that every customer I have is getting a great deal on their insurance. I want to make sure that every customer I have is fully happy with their car, and whatever their situation is. They tell me that they can't find a good landscaper in their town. So first thing I do is, of course, I go to Connection Machine Chat, or I just try to utilize my connections for wherever that is, and try to help any customer. I don't care if it has to do with auto sales, because in the end, they're going to know they can come to me about whatever it is, and I'm going to do right by them. And it's been working out for me.
No, well said. I appreciate you being transparent and very honest and authentic, sharing about being in foster care and how that's been, a part of your life. And how was it? Like, can you give us some details? Because I know adoption is very tough in the U.S.
Well, I didn't get adopted.
That's foster care. So the difference is you have somebody for a short period of time, and you were lucky to have one, or how does that work?
So essentially, foster care, the parents are paid to have you. They're paid by the state. It's not a lot. It's not enough for somebody who doesn't actually want to have kids to do it. Although it happens, I'm sure there are folks that think $1,200 or $1,400 a month or whatever it is now. I'm sure it's like $2,000 now. Whatever it is, they might think that that's worth it. My foster parents, they actually did it like it was a business. So they had 2 spare bedrooms. There would be 2 kids to the room, but they spent way more than the money that they made on us. I just think that they ran it the way they did so that they could help as many kids as possible. And it truly, like, a one-of-a-kind couple that could have lived comfortably the rest of their life. They hit the lottery twice.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Like, these are truly, like, good people. They hit the lottery twice, both up there, like close to $1 million each time. And instead of saying, all right, well, our house, let's pay off the house, they probably gave 3/4 of their money away to family, friends, helping take care of the kids whenever somebody was in need. Which is why, now that she's a little older and she's going through the stages in life where the money runs out. It happens. Right. Yeah. That's why I find it like important for me to contribute to her however I can, whenever I can. And obviously my time is probably the most important contribution to make sure that she knows she's not alone, because she helped raise a lot of kids. And, it's somebody like that should be cherished.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. I definitely appreciate you sharing that with us. And I know it has been part of you, how it drives you, and you could hear it in what you're talking about as far as being passionate in sales. Now, you're a hard worker. You're always, doing your thing. What does Mike like to do for fun besides work?
Okay, so I live in Pine Beach, which is a small 1 square mile town just south of Toms River, and it's on the southern shore of Toms River itself. It's an actual river. That's what the town's named after. And I like to kayak on the river. Also, I try to paddleboard, but it's really just for the entertainment of anybody who can see me because I fall constantly. And I've honestly taken up pickleball lately. So
That's so popular right now.
yeah, I didn't know it. Had no idea anything about it until about 2 months ago, because they built a court. I live across the street from two parks, and they built a court across the street from my house. And at first I thought it was a tennis court they were putting in. So I was a little excited, like, hey, I'm going to get a workout. And then I found out pickleball is even better because it's less difficult on the body, and I'm not exactly in stellar shape. So just getting back into the gym. I'm taking after you right now, Shawn. I saw you made a big transformation. What triggered that?
I appreciate you noticing because I put stuff out there constantly. It's important that people understand it. There's things that you just said triggered. Well, my daughter, I'm a phys ed teacher besides everything else I do. So I know how to work out. I know how to be in shape, but I didn't have the time. And it was going about 3 years ago, 4 years now. My daughter, my Natalie, who now is 4 years old, at 4 months old, had to have a liver transplant.
I remember.
So all that time beforehand, she had time that she had the feeding tube, and it was a dark time. I wasn't really focused on me. It was me focused everything, my wife and I, and her, and how to keep her alive. And I let myself go, and I got up to almost like 275, almost 280. And I'm like, oh my God, I have no time. How am I going to work out? I don't have time to go to the gym. So I fell in love with Beachbody, or now it's called Body, and have all the at-home workouts. And I have a Shakeology. I try to eat, very moderately throughout the day. Make sure I have the gallon of water, and it works because if you're consistent with something, it's going to work. It's not all about dieting, but it's being active and moving, and it's a key thing that most people, as we get up in age, I'm not in my 20s, not in my 30s anymore. So I got to make sure I am active so I can be there for my kids. That drives me.
How long have you been a phys ed teacher?
This is my 21st year. And my goal now is, so basically in teaching is 55. You have to get to 55. And once you get to 55, if you have 25 or more, you can retire. Well, by 55, I'll have 30 years in, which is 9 more. And I can have my pension, and I can continue doing what I'm doing. And the biggest thing is health insurance. That's a powerful thing for life. So
part of the reason I went to cars over real estate. Every dealership, well, I shouldn't say every, but every dealership I considered has health insurance.
Yeah, that's the key thing, and that's what I enjoy, and it's something that I can do other things too. That's why I like to collaborate, and I have online business. I like to network a lot, and that's why this type of stuff I love and enjoy, to continue growing and helping others. And it's just a powerful thing to continue down that path. And I like how you're into using video, and you're using video in a unique way that most car salespeople won't do it. My dad sold cars for many years. He just retired last year, 2 years ago. He was selling Chevy. He's sold everything from Ford.
No, I have 2 Chevy dealers, so send all those customers my way.
I will definitely do that, because he was basically forced to retirement because of COVID. He got COVID, almost died, and when he survived and is healthy today. But he's like, I'm done, man. I can't do this anymore. but it's something that I know how tough it can be, but it's something that, you know, it's a good business to be in if you are ethical and you are one. But he didn't get into video, but you get into video. How are you using video?
Okay, so I honestly I have to shout out somebody. It's Billy Sherman. He's become a huge player in the automotive industry. He's known on a national level. I was blessed that one of the dealerships I started at had just promoted him to become a manager. And when he was in sales, he would do these live videos because for a while, Facebook Live was a huge
Oh,
thing.
powerful.
Yeah, like 20, like they really pushed it, or I want to say around 2017 to 2020. Before COVID really hit, it was big. They kind of laid off of it a little bit when TikTok really made its
Yes.
rise. And I think everybody's gone to the shorts or
For the
reels, whichever.
reels. Yep. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So I kind of bit a little bit off of him, but I don't have personality like he has. I'm a little bit bland as far as my voice. I don't have like a very powerful voice. I can make it powerful for a few seconds at a time, but I can't do a whole conversation. You see how here it sounds like I'm yelling because I am. For me, this is yelling. I have a very quiet voice naturally. My customers often make fun of me over it, which I'm cool with. It's something it makes me unique, and it's probably more memorable than anything I'll say.
Yes.
So the reason the videos started though were from his lives. I would watch his quick little skits. He would do rapping in cars and stuff like that, like cool things that I really wished I had it in me to do, but I'm more of a regimented person. I need a little bit of structure when it comes to business. I like to have an idea of what the outcome is going to be so that I can, it's easy to have, pursue a goal if you have a way to get there, right?
Hmm.
So for me, if I kind of know what I want a video to look like, I can kind of, it's easier for me to make it. And it's easier for the customer too, because I can guide them and they don't have that awkward moment of what am I supposed to be doing here? Because in the beginning, I went through those phases too. I started the first car sale I ever did. I took pictures and posted them on Facebook, which at the time nobody was even doing that, which was to me strange. Like, why wouldn't you
Right.
put everything you do in your business life? Now it seems common sense to everybody, but at the time it just wasn't. And then I saw he was doing videos, and I was like, I should I should try something. I should. But when I do it, I want to make sure it's not exactly what he's doing because I didn't want him to feel like I was trying to compete with him. My goal, I don't try to compete with other people. I try to create my own path for anything I do. No matter what it is, I know I can find a path or a niche that'll work for me.
Hmm.
I realize that something more powerful than just something entertaining is somebody suggesting you. So Shawn, I believe it or not, you've been suggested on posts and other things where I didn't even know that person and you and I would have had connected. Like that person wasn't even part of the group of people that we run in because now we probably have you and I have to have over 100 mutual
Hmm.
acquaintances on various social media. Not to mention everybody we've met in person and so I realized that referral power is drastically more effective than an entertaining video.
Yes.
I know that his reach is actually less than mine, and I've never put out anything with the intent of just entertainment. Even the videos I do about cars are to showcase specific features on the cars, point out the little things and how they look, and I kind of always do it in a way where like, hey, reach out to the guy who made the video and he'll send you whatever you want. Like I have the raw footage. So hey, you want to see what the screen does? I have a full breakdown of what the screen does. I did it when I made the video. It's just too much to put in the video. I'm just going to
Right.
show the size of the screen. Um, And then when I sell a car, this is what's been really advantageous for my business. And I see a lot of realtors that don't take advantage of this, and they should. There's one app I would definitely suggest for anybody who's going to do any type of business with videos. And I don't think I've ever said it to you, and I don't benefit. I pay for this app. So, I know the creator of the app. He's actually a good, very good guy. But the app is called QuickPage. And essentially, it's an app that allows, no matter what type of phone a client has, allows you to text them a link where they can open it up. And it'll pop open YouTube videos, pictures that they can see with 1080p quality, high definition quality, and also in there, like you can put links in the bio and make it individualized. It's a page that they go to that's individualized to that particular customer, or like I do, I have bulk ones for specific types of vehicles. Or if somebody asks me how a certain feature is on a vehicle, I can just send them a link like, hey, this is how you change the clock for daylight savings time. And I'll just sometimes randomly email or text these to people without people I haven't talked to in 3 or 6 months, just to say, hey, I'm thinking of you, and I know the clock's just changed. Just hey, change it on your particular type of vehicle.
That's powerful.
Video drastically more powerful than pictures. And I know people say pictures are worth 1,000 words, but I can say 1,000 words in a video. And imagine having 1 million pictures sent to somebody on their phone that they can access again and again and again. Whereas that picture, yes, they can access it, but who saves a picture from a post?
Right.
I know people who have sent me my own video that was taken from one of my posts and reposted elsewhere, where they didn't do a good job of taking my thing out. And somebody thought I'd be upset that they reposted. I was like, no, it's got my website in. Why would I be upset?
No.
Giving me free exposure. I'm cool with it.
That's important. The shares. Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, on the real thing that it started from was referrals. So every car that I sell, I try. I'm about 10 videos behind right now, which isn't that bad. During COVID, I got as many as 40 or 50 videos behind. But
wow.
Well, when you're selling bigger numbers, it gets harder to keep up. Yeah. Right now I'm still selling okay. It's just new dealerships. So learning processes while still doing everything can be a little bit of a challenge. But the end of every sale, and I think realtors should really look at this, a video is immensely beneficial because it shows your personality. And I don't have a strong personality. I have a mellow one, and I think there's a lot of
welcoming.
People for a mellow personality to work with. I have that one I do on those videos, but I do other videos every once in a while just to point out, like, hey, I don't talk like that all the time. I do speak at a normal tone. I'm literally screaming in my videos, but I have nothing to do with that video. That video, what I'm saying bears very little other than to say congratulations to the customer. That video is really for them. There's 3 seconds of each video that I ask the customer one question, and what I post is literally what they respond. I never stop a video and redo it. I don't even pre-warn the customer I ask them, hey, do you mind if I do a quick video for social media? And it's for my personal social media and not the dealerships. It doesn't go on their stuff. I'm only saying congrats to them, giving a video where they can always repost or save or whatever they want. And it's something they can remember me by. And more important than all of that, I ask one question. Would you suggest me to anyone and everyone in every single video? And I have only ever had one person not say yes immediately. And that one person said, I changed my mind. I don't want to be in a social media video, which I'm not going to get mad at.
Wow.
No, there's people who they start to think about it and they're like, I have no idea. This person could have 1 million followers. I don't know. And I only have, my pages are less than 25,000 between all of them. You know what I mean? I don't have a big following. I have a reasonable one, but the ones that I have are active, luckily for me, and they do send me people. which is invaluable. Which I send you folks whenever I can,
Oh yeah.
and the referral thing is 90% of any sales job.
And like you said, a lot of you were saying about you're more mellow. Even if you're mellow, just doing it and being consistent, it helps. And a lot of people think, well, I'm not good at it. I wasn't good at doing video. I started back in 2018, really focusing on doing video. And my first one was in 2017 in December. My first one, I was all over the place. Didn't know what the hell I was saying. I was not looking at the dot. I was looking over here. I was looking at something. It just wasn't good. And then I've done stuff in the image was flashing. Sometimes the audio wasn't the greatest, but you just continue doing it because you hit record and you throw it out into the universe. And I know it's going to help you.
Well, I think you remember how bad some of my videos were 5 or 6 years ago. They were. I think anything you do, if you do it consistently enough, you'll become proficient at it. And that's if you have a passion for it. I actually enjoy doing putting the videos together as much as the cars themselves, which I'm a car enthusiast. I don't think there's a time where you'll find less than 3 or 4 cars in my driveway. I'm a person who really enjoys the automotive industry, and I think the future on it is probably going to be one of the most dramatic changes you'll see in the history of automobiles over the next decade. We're in the first 2 years of it, I would say, maybe 3. And Tesla was definitely the spark that ignited all this.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you do auto insurance, so there's a lot of pushback on both various hybrid models, on various plug-in versions, and full electric. So there's 3 types of hybrid, by the way. A lot of people don't know that. There is just a standard hybrid vehicle, which is, it has a battery that gets recharged through the regenerative braking process and then assists somehow. But then there's plug-in hybrids. Those are called PHEVs. Those are going to become the biggest thing in the US over the next several years. And people who are doubting it right now, I fully understand. I don't discourage you from staying with gas. You can stay with it as long as you want. Gas isn't going anywhere in the next 15 to 20 years. We're going to still have gas versions of most vehicles available, but you are going to see the transition out of gas, and it has a lot to do with geopolitics, and people may not understand that aspect of it. But I'm lucky enough that the main brands that I sell, which are Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram, and we have Fiat too, but there's not much doing with them right now. Mm-hmm. But those brands, they're owned by a parent company called Stellantis. Stellantis is a major multinational conglomerate that encompasses, of course, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Fiat, Peugeot, Alfa Romeo, Maserati, and Ferrari. So that's a pretty big array from very entry-level vehicles all the way up. I rented an Alfa Romeo, and it is nothing like a lot of the cars here in the US right now, which it's a very cool car. It's you could tell it's right up there. It's close to that Maserati level. It's a very nice car, but it's not affordable for most folks. And I just got lucky, and the rental agency only had that to fit my reservations. That was the part I got. But the reason I'm saying you need to go for you need to look at the hybrid options and the full electric options that are coming out in the coming years is take advantage of these subsidies. That's what they are. They're subsidized vehicles. Take advantage of federal money. If the government's going to throw money at a vehicle just because it has a plug. So I personally, and I'm saying this from a place and a stance of use. I drive these vehicles. I had the second Jeep Wrangler plug-in that my old dealership had gotten in. I just thought it looked good, and I knew how it drove because the first one that came in, I drove it, and I was just so blown away. I had to get one. I bought it for performance. The fact that I get one tank of gas every other month is just a bonus. I I mean, so basically this is what they're doing. They're taking you could drive it on just gas if you wanted, never plug it in. It'll get similar fuel efficiency to that of a regular gas version, but you don't get the same level of performance as the regular if it's supposed to have a larger motor, and it's a little bit heavier. That weight though is a benefit because you have more weight and it's down low, which makes an SUV less likely to topple. So there's a benefit there.
More control, yeah.
Right. Well, if you have the plug-in hybrid, like I'm on my second one. The first one was so incentivized by the government that I had it for a year and a half. And when I traded it, I had a couple $1,000s of equity on a lease. Right. And it wasn't because I traded it at a bad time. I missed the boat on when the crazy trade values were there. I missed it. I should have done it then. I just wasn't thinking about it. And it was also, I was waiting for my current vehicle to come in, which is a Grand Cherokee plug-in hybrid electric. I obviously like Jeep a lot. And I will tell you right now, I'll put my Grand Cherokee up against most SUVs, luxury SUVs on the market. I have heated, ventilated front and rear, 4 zones of climate control. I have night vision. I have heads-up display that's customizable. I've got wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I've got massage seats for both driver and passenger. I mean, that's all good, but the plug-in part is actually, to me, the part I like the most. And that's because it has 375 horsepower. I feel like they chose to, because obviously they could have chose different size electric motors and they could have adjusted the battery accordingly. They chose that amount of horsepower because so if you know anything about MOPAR's V8, the 5.7 liter Hemi that's the workhorse. That's the V8 that's in more vehicles than any other V8. That's the small block V8. That puts out 375 horsepower. But the plug-in hybrid has 470 foot-pounds of torque. It's a small rocket ship is what you're getting. It's quick off the line. It's fun to drive. It rips around. And the great thing about it is the weight is by the floor. So you don't get as much body sway as you would get in a traditional vehicle. And the great thing about it is the distribution of weight is better because the batteries are behind you. They're underneath the back seat. So that gives you a more comfortable ride. Now, whether you're considering the ones I'm talking about, we also have the Dodge Hornet coming out in a plug-in hybrid version as well, which without that plug-in capability, that thing's already a tiny little Spitfire. That thing's got 268 horsepower, just came out. That 2.0 turbo is the same 2.0 turbo that's in my Grand Cherokee and in the Jeep Wrangler. So it's designed for a bigger vehicle. They just jammed it into that tiny little, small SUV, and it's got sport suspension. Basically, it's all the things that you look at in the Alfa Romeo SUV. Now take a look, just switch over to Dodge and be willing to deal with maybe not as fancy of an interior, but enjoy a very fun ride at a great price point too. It's under $40,000.
Man, there's lots of value in a lot of the cars coming out there. And guys, we're running out of time. And Mike, he has lots of opportunities to have all his contact information in the description. Reach out to him. He will speak and talk and not sell you something right off the bat. He'll give you the information. He'll educate you, and you make a decision on what direction you want to go. And Mike, I want to thank you so much for providing so much value for us today. And everyone that's watching, we hope you have an awesome rest of your day.
Shawn, thank you for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Got it, brother.